We are celebrating Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and today we're taking a closer look at a Chinese community that stood the test of time. We're talking about the historic town of Locke, an unincorporated community in the Sacramento San Joaquin River Delta. As CBS 13's Dominic Garcia shows us, through the years, the Chinese Delta community has maintained its charm and wonder.
Stepping into this picturesque place can feel like going back in time. The town of wood frame structures, built more than a century ago, sits on 14 acres, tucked away along the Sacramento Delta.
People need to know how significant this place is.
Stuart Walthall lives in the town. He's also the chairman of the Locke Foundation. Founded in 1915, Locke was built by the Chinese and for the Chinese after fire destroyed their community in neighboring Walnut Grove.
This place represents the immigrant experience, not just Chinese, but its legacy is symbolic of what the Chinese had to endure.
Many of the town's residents helped build the Transcontinental Railroad and went on to build the levees along the Delta, turning swamps into farmland. Locke mainly served the agriculture workforce and became a safe haven for a community that often faced discrimination.
Under the Chinese Exclusion Act, they cannot own land, so they have to lease the ground from George Locke. In fact, that's one of the reasons why the town was named Locke, after the landowner.
Clarence Chu is from Hong Kong. He first arrived in Locke in the 1970s, finding the town peculiar yet endearing.
Looks more like a Western town, but when I start to talk to the original residents here, that's what captures my heart.
In 1977, Chu's family bought the town. Then in the early 2000s, they sold it to the Sacramento Housing and Redevelopment Agency. But during its heyday, the bustling town of Locke had a boarding house, a post office, a church, a theater, and a Chinese school.
And they also came here to learn a little of the history and the culture that was important to the parents to have the kids educated in Chinese.
And during Prohibition, brothels, casinos, and opium dens brought in people of all backgrounds. And at the end of World War II, discriminatory laws were lifted, allowing Chinese families to move out and seek better opportunities. Today, there are about 70 residents in Locke. Clarence, who owns several properties in town, says if you plan to visit, take your time on the road.
Next time, if you drive slower and then you make a turn to Locke Road to come visit us, especially this historic Main Street, you give yourself a big surprise.
Well, tomorrow, Locke is having its annual Asian Pacific Spring Festival from 11 to 5.
You can catch all of the festivities on the town's main street. Wow, so cool.